Tree Country 1330 WTRE 731. Good morning, Mayor Marsh.
Good morning, Emily, and happy Thursday to everyone in WTRE country.
Yes, we're back here.
We are back in studio out here on Park Road doing our thing. Thursday morning, sun's coming up.
It is. It was very pretty out this morning.
It was really nice.
But it was dark and it was cool.
And trees are starting to change colors. It seems like we're a little, I don't necessarily keep a calendar, but it seems a little late this year because it's just been so warm and dry. But hey, we're getting there. Pumpkins are out, mums are out, pumpkin spice lattes are in. It's all ready to go.
Fall is everywhere.
Yeah, we seems like soybeans are about done, if not done. And there's still some corn out and about that folks are getting in. Passed some combines yesterday, so 'tis the season.
It sure is. Well, it's coming back. You've had a busy week so far.
Yeah, of course. Last week we were in Honduras for the trip with St. Mary's, and so if you were able to join us last Thursday, you heard our report from down there. But yeah, this week's been kind of nuts. We jumped right in. We had City Council and Board of Works on Tuesday night, and had a lot to get through, and a lot of big topics for the year that are finally complete and over, which is what we want this time of the year.
That's right. It's kind of the wrap up, right? As you prepare to move into 26.
Yeah, this really starts. This is the end of our budget season, which then really kind of starts the end of year preparation. So we changed gears a little bit. Of course, I made this comment in the meeting that this process really starts in like April, May, and then by June 30, it is really moving in the background, and that we work to create a budget for the following year. So when you look at that, we're really looking at funds that we need to operate in December of the following year. So we're 18 to 20 months in advance of looking at where we need to be and what we're going to need to, operate on New Year's Eve 2027 and or 2026. And that really does take a lot of effort by our teams. So we start this process in April. We go through the creation process. We get it all formulated. We get it to balance out and what we need and where we need it. Then we wait sort of on our June 30 numbers to see where we're going to, our projections for the following year. And then in July and August, City Council work on it. Then in September and October, they actually vote on it. So it has to be done by the end of October. And now that we're done, we've passed all 5 of the budget and salary ordinances required to operate the city next year. And our City Council did a great job of, reviewing and looking at that and making sure that our departments got what they need and some wants, but a lot of just very continuing of this year's based on the Senate Enrolled Act 1 process. So we're happy with where we're at, but there's always room for more. But our teams did a really great job. The City Council did a really great job, and our finance and Amy Bournes, our clerk treasurer, and I work really diligently on getting a product that is palatable to just about everybody.
All right, City Council and Board Works both meeting this week. News coming beyond budget from those meetings.
Yeah, so we'll start with the Board of Works maybe a little bit first. So a couple items coming. Of course, the Veterans Day parade. We've got, I think, 2 parades to go.
We do. Home stretch.
This is the end of the season. And we were talking about this a few weeks ago. We thought we were down to just the Christmas parade, and then I kind of had forgotten about the Veterans Day parade. But it's always a great event. I think you guys typically broadcast the event that happens at the War Memorial there. But it's actually going to be on the 8th, which is Saturday, because of the Veterans Days on Tuesday this year. With the Tuesday, a lot of people, although it's a bank holiday, it's a government holiday, it is a holiday, it's not really a full-blown everybody's off holiday. And so probably like 3 or 4 years ago, they moved it over to the Saturday near Veterans Day so that more people could attend, and the attendance numbers have been significantly better. So it is actually on Saturday, November 8th at 11 a.m. That will leave Gill and Howe, come down Broadway, north across on Washington, south on Franklin, and then end up there at the War Memorial on the south side of the courthouse. It's a great event. It's always kind of sporadically attended. It seems like there's some folks that watch the parade, but then there's quite a few people that actually attend the ceremony. So if you would like to participate in that, come on down to Gill and Howe before 11 o'clock. If you'd like to watch, you can join us at 11, and then the program immediately after. Main Street Greensburg has also sort of tacked onto that they always put out a request for some volunteer help to set up Christmas decorations in downtown. So while Halloween's not quite here yet. By November 8th, we will have passed Halloween, so then it's really time to shift into Christmas mode. GFD always helps set up the tree. And then REMC helps put up the lights on the poles, and volunteers help set up the candy canes and the arches and those kinds of things. So if you'd like to help with that, come on downtown. You can come to the Veterans Day event. And if you can't make it to that or don't want to make it to that, you can come down about 11:15, 11:30, and you'll see a bunch of people scurrying around carrying gigantic Christmas lights. Those are the people that we need help. And so we'd love to see you down there.
It's really crazy to think we're to this point of the year already.
Yes.
It came quickly.
It is. And I'm pretty sure, I probably should have, I think Veterans Day is the last flags over 74. I think they do that.
I believe so.
I'll have to confirm that, but that will be at noon. I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's Memorial Day, 4th of July, 9/11, and Veterans Day. I'm pretty sure that's the 4. So, there's a lot going on. But, of course, that will probably be on Tuesday.
I think so.
And it'll probably be at 5 o'clock. Now that I say all of this out loud, I will have to confirm that later. Because during the week, sometimes they do it in the evenings. So we'll take a look for that. But that's coming up. And then the last one of the year was road closures for the Holiday Walk, which is the first Saturday in December, which I think is the 6th. And that's going to be in the afternoon. Road closures downtown will start at about 11. The event starts at, I think, 1 or 2. And then the parade is at 5:30. And you and I will be broadcasting that. You can watch it on YouTube and follow along. It's a really great event. And I know Kathy Versman from here at WTRE, she sort of helps spearhead the parade. And she's got the theme this year. And they've also requested more space.
Yes, because it's been growing, which is great. We love to see that parade grow. And it's lighted for the most part, which is fun. It's a fun twist to our normal parades.
Yeah, I think everybody does something. And the theme this year is snowmen. Yeah. So that should be kind of fun. We'll see what we get. I hope somebody puts on one of those gigantic, 14-foot, snowmen that you put in your yard and just walks, carries it.
Just carries it. That could be you. I mean...
Or maybe a Macy's Day...
the big
balloon.
Blow-ups.
Yeah. That's a lot of helium. I'm sure somebody's going to... Anyway, I think maybe there's an opportunity there. But we did... I did remind our department heads the other day, because,
there's a fierce competition.
We have a very internal fierce competition, and our street department is a 2-year reigning People's Choice Award winner. So they take a lot of pride in that, and I take a lot of pride in them taking a lot of pride in it. But it's really interesting too. So in our department head meeting, I said, hey, don't forget this is coming if your teams are going to participate. And everybody was like, oh, yeah, we forgot about that. And then about 3 minutes later, they were talking about all the work that they've already put into thinking about it. So I think they were being a little coy.
I think so.
They're
very secretive about it, too.
Oh, yeah. They develop. Oh, yeah. But that's good. It's one of those things where we always want good camaraderie on our teams, no matter where you're at. We want great, a work balance that is fun, and these members do a great job for us year round. So if this is their big commitment to parading, because and police and fire, everybody's welcome to participate, but they're in parades all the time, right? They're doing their thing. And I think last year GFD did have some reindeer on top of their ladder truck.
They did.
So everybody gets into it, but I'm really glad to see everybody else participating, and they don't ever tell me what they're doing, so it's always a surprise when it rolls down the street.
That's right.
And we're looking forward to it, and we encourage everybody out there, if you've got an idea or concept, and if you just want to be in it,
jump in the parade.
Come on down. It's a pretty short one. It just goes from the church there on North Broadway down through the square, and I don't know where we're going to park everybody. We'll figure that out.
We kind of ran into that problem last year.
We'll figure that out on the fly. I think Chief McNeely and those folks did a pretty good job of trying to stack them in about 3 wide in that parking on the south side of the square. Some of that really big stuff, tractors, semis, we had to kind of move on down Franklin, but it worked, and we'll get everybody gathered up for the Christmas tree lighting, which has really turned into a phenomenal event. And I think some of the kids are coming back this year. Somebody told me the other day they were already practicing their songs.
They are. So it's that downtown has just turned into a great Christmas event, and we look forward to it every year. But each year it's grown. I was looking back through some pictures, just our end of the year stuff, and I was like, wow, you look back even 5 years ago, and it's grown a lot since that point. So we're excited for it, and you never know what outfit we're going to have.
Yeah.
We don't either.
I don't either. Yeah.
It'll.
We is interesting. You probably do. I don't have a clue what we're doing. But
No.
the other items from the Board of Works included conditional offers to 3 police officers. These are spots that were already open. We're not adding any new spots for 2026, so we're just filling in. We did have a really great process with lots of applicants, which is great. And we also, maybe 18 months ago, implemented like a lateral hiring process that has an incentive. If you're already an officer and you want to transfer into our department, there's an opportunity to adjust the starting pay and then kind of like puts it on pause while you make those years up with us as a way to be more attractive to individuals that already have law enforcement experience. We've been able to hire a couple of those because it does eliminate a lot of training. It eliminates maybe the need to go to the academy, which is a 16-week process that we pay for and pay a lot of overtime for, and we have field training officers. So there is a lot of advantages to bringing someone in that's already trained. So we were able, 2 of the 3 are actually lateral transfers. They're not our first 2, but we probably have had done less than 5 of these. And it's really great to sort of see that opportunity being presented to individuals that want to join our team. So we're excited to have them. Those conditional offers, they still have to pass like perf and some other things, and then they are still like kind of on a probationary year with us after they get hired. So that's why it's called a conditional offer. The other item from the Board of Works was the discussion about some changes to our For Board of Works, we were doing a demolition of a condemned building in town, but on the city council, Sarah Hamer, our building commissioner, talked to us about the need to change our mowing grass and fine schedule. We've been taking a very aggressive approach to code compliance, and most of the complaints that we address are actually from reports and complaints of neighbors and citizens and or other departments of something that comes up, but generally they're rooted in the idea that somebody's complained on their neighbor or someone on the street. And so that's typically how they're identified. But we've had some folks that are habitual offenders, and we've had corporations, so right now residential and commercial are treated the same, and we've actually had some commercial properties tell us, well, you're cheaper than lawn care, you just mow it and send us the bill. Well, that's not what we're in the business of doing. We have other things that we need to be doing, and so there's been some tweaks. So the bulk of it is, for residents, the first 2 offenses, really nothing changes. So we have a $200 minimum. If we are there, we keep track of time materials, and then we bill that, and it has to be a minimum of $200. And if it's not, it's a minimum of $200. And so for the first 2 offenses for a residential property, that's not changing. After that's when it starts to tick up. And over on the commercial side, we're actually moving that to a minimum of $500. And then after the 3rd offense, that starts to tick up. And so the idea is we're trying to get habitual offenders to be a little more responsive and make the penalty a little bit higher, because we do have there are a couple places this year that we've gone to like 5 or 6, 7 times. And if you think about it, that's 1 time per growing season per month. And that is a little extreme, because we all know we need to mow our grass more than once a month. And also, we don't need to be dedicating our resources to the same property every month. That's not what we do. And the numbers are higher this year than they were last year, but I think they're down from 23. I think 23 might have been our peak year. And the involvement with that is to try to just get some, it doesn't really change anything. If you're a one-time offender, or you never offend, which is great, vast majority of people don't, then it's no big deal. Nothing new. We are going to look, so we have an annual notice requirement where we have to notice everyone that they're in violation per calendar year, and we think that this sort of this penalty piece will be a little bit longer than that, so that it's not, you don't have to 7 times this year, it's 7 times over X many months. And the council wants us to look into that a little bit, so we're going to figure that out maybe next month. But probably a step in the right direction, and definitely from a residential perspective, getting the commercial properties into compliance a little bit more, because we're not their lawn care service. Residents don't pay the city of Greensburg to be other people's lawn care service. It needs to be a more penalty oriented type issue, because it is. And so we're making those changes.
So by next growing season, there should somewhat be an update to what that looks like?
Yes. By the time we get this done in November, growing season's over, right? But it's something that needs to be done. And again, it has no impact on a vast majority of people that are listening. And even if you accidentally get caught once, it's not any different than it is today. It's really just targeting those offenders. And, if you're sitting at home like I am, and, I mow my grass every week and get it taken care of, that's good, right? I have that responsibility. Everybody else in the community has that responsibility. We shouldn't let those that aren't, do it affordably. And should be no problems for a super vast majority of everyone listening.
All right. Very good.
So those were, I guess the item that we did get completed for the year was the contract, the fire protection contract with Washington Township. That was for 2025. So we were here in October, got that done. And we have also included it in the 2026 contract. So 26 is done as well. And then we've agreed to work with the township in early 2026, looking at what 2027 looks like. Board member Glenn Tebby made a great comment at our meeting about, GFD has continued to provide top-tier professional services for the last 10 months to residents of the township without a contract, because we're good partners, and we appreciate that this partnership has continued, and look forward to the next era of that as we look at what 2027 beyond brings. The council and board have expressed a desire to find a formula that really makes it a little bit more predictable into what is funded through the township fire protection contract. The quick version of that is that if you live inside the city limits of Greensburg proper, your property taxes support GFD, and some of the income tax supports to the fire department. That's a service you pay for. And if you live outside the city limits of Greensburg, but inside the city limit, or inside the township limits of Washington Township, then you pay fire protection tax, property tax, that goes to the township. The township's legally required to provide fire protection by the state, and then they contract with GFD to be the fire protection. There isn't another fire protection organization in the township. It's GFD, but if there's no contract, then GFD does not provide that protection service. So the work that was done to get to the contract, and we've had one for years, and we continue to be partners and provide that coverage, but that's why that contract exists. It's if you live inside the city proper, then it's no big deal. You have GFD. If you live inside Washington Township but outside the city proper, then you have whoever the township contracts with.
All right, but that's been solidified for
this year and next year. Yep. So we're good, and we're moving forward with that.
All right.
Over for the city council, just a couple big items. Obviously, we already talked about the mowing liens. Some updates. The project downtown is still clicking right along. There's a lot of milled paving going on around town. We've still got more paving to go. You and I have been talking about it. October 15th was yesterday. That's sort of the end of pavement season, but yet we're marching full steam ahead. O'Mara's has been doing a great job. We've got great weather to do it, which is fantastic because we need to get it done. So I know it seems like it just keeps going and going, which is great. Hey. We talk about investing in infrastructure all the time.
That's right.
And we've just kind of, with the way the schedules have worked with the contractor, so a lot of people don't realize, I think we have 18 months. Like the state money is good for 18 months. And once we sort of do the contract, the state controls the contracts. We just insert the numbers in the names. Once we insert the date and say go, it's really up to them when they do it. So I know some folks have said, why is it dragging on? Or why didn't they do it all on the same day? Or why is it this? And it's like, well, honestly, it's the contractor who drives that once the contracts are done. And we don't own a paver, and we don't own a milling machine, and we don't have enough staff to do our own in-house paving. So the work has to be contracted out. We've got great contractors we work with. It's just a process. So there's new pavement still to come. And then one of the big ones, and I can't guarantee it won't happen somewhere, but we try not to do something and then cut new pavement the next week. So we actually learned from Frontier, who's putting in all the fiber around town, that we've had gas lines and water lines, and people have had sewer lines and everything hit. They're going across Freeland Road, and they just told us about that. So we were like, well, wait a minute, we are paving that, and so now we are trying to coordinate that with them so that we don't pave it. They didn't tell us that they were going across there until, like, I think last week.
Okay.
And so it's been a little bit of a mad rush because Freeland Road is scheduled to get repaved as well. Now, that will happen under traffic, meaning it will not be a full closure. There may be some one-lane closures, obviously, when the milling machine's in there and the pavers and et cetera. So just be that section is so busy and hectic and chaotic anyway. But it is not a full reconstruct, so it's just milling off the top, fixing some full depth patching where it is the infrastructure underneath is sunk. They're going to do a couple storm drains, so it's a pretty light piece, but obviously a very heavily traveled road in our community. That is still on the schedule for this fall. I think they were supposed to start that yet this week, but I think that's been kicked out a little bit because of the Frontier information. And but it's still on the plan. So the pavers will be back, I think, this week to get some of the other side streets done and wrapped up as we move along.
All right, you said milling going on through town today, though, right? Like,
I think it may be done, but yeah, there's milling going on around this week.
If it's not done already. Somehow they're milling.
That's right.
Yeah, very good. The golf outing was the weekend. Oh, wait, did we have anything else? Did I skip over anything?
Just for 2026, we did approve the public meeting schedule. Nothing's really changing on that, except we do have, I think, the BZA is going to meet every other month, like scheduled for every other month. First one in February. They just don't have that much to consider, and we're sort of balancing. We charge fees to individuals that need to go before the BZA, so like a variance fee or something. So we did a tweak to the variance fee schedule earlier this year as a part of that kind of compromise that keep the costs lower. We're moving that meeting because we do pay those board members to every other month, and then that way we can try to consolidate some variances so that we're spreading the cost of having the meeting out over multiple variances versus just one, because they are the building office's intention is not to make money, but the idea is we can offset some of our costs. Again, looking at how does Senate Enrolled Act 1 affect us. These fees are a part of that. That's what the governor and the General Assembly told us to do, is go out and put more, increase fees and do a fee-based system. So something that is directly impactful to literally one person, the person that wants the variance. We tried to set up a fee schedule where they covered the cost of that. There was some concern about that price being too high, so this was one of the compromises, was to have those meetings less frequently to spread the cost of the board out. So we're going to try that next year. Every other meeting, schedule, time, and place are staying the same. And then we did adopt the holiday schedule as well. We follow the same holiday schedule as the state of Indiana, and I believe that's what Decatur County follows too, so we should be in sync with them. And all of that was approved, and that's it. So yes, that was all.
That was it. Okay. This was the first full year, right, of the, we call Super Tuesday
Super
meetings?
Tuesday, yeah.
So successful, and that'll continue next year.
Yeah, we've had great success with our team really likes it. Our contractors that come in really like it. Our board members really like it. We've not had any instances that have been significantly impactful to the following meeting. We've not had one that's gone on for 2 hours and pushed everything else back. So if we see something like that coming, we can make adjustments. But really, the ones that require the most public input, so those variances, those plan commission meetings, are the ones at the end anyway. So those are the ones that typically have less ability to maybe stay directly on schedule, just because the agenda is controlled, but they're public hearings typically associated with those, and that gives the opportunity, to come and speak at a public hearing. That's something that a lot of people don't maybe understand, is public meetings you are legally allowed to attend, and you can attend them, but they are not. There's no obligation to allow public comment. Public hearings, there is an obligation to allow public comment. Public hearings and public meetings are not the same thing, and public hearings typically precede a public meeting. So that's why you'll see a public hearing. Sometimes you'll say, well, we're opening a hearing on this. We'll have a hearing, then we will close the hearing, then we will start the meeting. So they are two different things. They have two different purposes, and they have two different major functions. The plan and BZA typically have some type of public hearing component. That's why they're at the end of the evening, so that they could stretch on into the evening without affecting the other meetings.
All right. And we will continue those for next year. before we left for Honduras, you had the golf tournament with the GPD.
Yeah, GPD's K9, incredibly successful, great event. I'm sure when the Chief's in next time, he'll share all the numbers, but really thanks to all of the sponsors, all of the players, all the supporters. We had some folks that were there. I went down that morning. Of course, that was the morning of the train as well, but I went down that morning with some folks from Jennings County who come up to support the K9 program. Lucy did a great job hosting us. It was a beautiful day, and thanks to everybody who on our team and spouses of members on our team who helped run tables and get items and donated and bought and etc. So they did a really nice job, and I think our K9 officers were very appreciative of all of the work done, and glad to see them very successful.
Yes, glad to see that program continue to thrive. This Friday will be your last public safety event for the year?
Yeah, this one is the end of the year.
This one's fun.
It is fun. It's a little bit different, so it's going to be out at Greensburg High School. It's the game against Rushville, and we'll be there. We're doing concessions. I guess I've been roped into serving popcorn.
I think it's great.
Yeah, so we'll see everybody at the concession stands at the Greensburg football game. Come on out. Unfortunately, this is my first game of the season, so it'll be good to be out there, and we're going to be just in presence, sort of like it's just public safety night, if you will, at the football game. But then the Safe Streets program will also be there as a community engagement opportunity. They've worked with the schools to have a tent and a table, and they're out soliciting input and thoughts on not only the Highway 3 corridor, we've talked about that several times here on this program, but other major intersections and impact areas that you think are important across the entire county. Because it's a Rushville-Greensburg game, and Rushville's our partner on that, it's also a great opportunity, for those that are in Rush County and Rushville to weigh in on that same project. It all goes in the same document, so it's a really good, kind of synergistic partnership. But so that's going on, and we're going to be out there, so come on out and support the Pirates, and I hope to beat the Lions.
That's right. You're going to be served popcorn.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll be there.
That's right. We'll kind of wrap up too. Again, we were in Honduras last week. We were able to bring you the show from there. That was a good time.
It was very, very impactful. Please go and watch it on the YouTube channel or on WTRE's website, because it's a really interesting conversation. We talked with the mayor of Cucaagua. We talked with the non-governmental organizations, NGOs, Linda, who just does an amazing job on the ground, has built an incredible organization over the last 20 years that's full of trust. And you can see people just trust her. I mean, it's just phenomenal. We talked with the folks from St. Mary's here that have really been spearheading that. And then, of course, we talked with some of the engineers and project planning management folks that are on the ground that actually built the community and what that means. And we shared some of our experiences, too, just the opportunity to connect with residents of this new village that were literally living, under tarps at the dump and in tin shacks alongside the road, to now have a house and a community, and it's really impactful. It's amazing. So yeah, go check it out. I think we had about 50 minutes. It was a long show last week, so if you joined us at 7:30, you come in midway. But yeah, go check it out. And it was a really interesting opportunity. I hope you enjoyed it too. But
I did, yeah. It's amazing to see how they were living to what they're living in now, and just I said this several times over there, but the amount of gratitude that they show is just mind-boggling to me.
I think one thing, too, from your perspective in the healthcare space, we had the opportunity to go to their existing clinic. Now, I want to just set this up, and I'll let you take it away, but 17,000 people in Cucaagua, so think City of Greensburg, and their healthcare network is probably like 30 by 30, maybe 40 by 40, in a very old building, one doctor, 3 nurses, and 2 medical assistants, first come, first serve, open 5 days a week, and that's it.
That's it.
There's
you show up, you wait, and even inside their building, we may look at a building that we've used in the past for something. It still doesn't compare to what they had. They don't have full walls. There's no privacy. Their pharmacy, that was an experience to go through that and see what's available and what's not available. They have a difficult time just getting medications. in Honduras. So very eye-opening. And then you start to look at the needs that they have from nutrition, very high carb, sugar diets, to dental care. We talked about that a lot too. So a lot of improvements that they still can be made, but they're in the process of opening a new healthcare facility. So we're excited to see how that's going to go. And DCMH had donated some beds that went over there. So a nice piece of Greensburg will be there in their new building. So,
and the new clinic, again, is amazing compared to what they have. And it's a modern building. I mean, talk about, it does have air conditioning and it has doors and windows and, bathrooms, and you think, well, that's standard. No, it is not.
It's not.
And they have their main floor does have rooms versus just an open space for patients, and then they have different sections. They're going to have a dental component. They're going to have a lab, and then the second, third floor are sort of administrative doctor spaces. We learned there are no elevators outside of San Pedro Sula, so they don't take any patients really off the first floor. And so like the second and third floor are like the administrative staff. They want to get it to a 24-hour, right? Part of their goal, it's a federal healthcare system. So the part of their goal is to get it to 24 hours.
Just finding staffing for that there is the biggest challenge they're having at this point.
Yeah. Everybody watch out. They were trying to recruit Emily. They wanted to
come
down and get to work right away.
Right, as soon as it opened. So, it was a good trip. Thanks to St. Mary's for having me along for that. And I think that's going to do it for the week.
I won't be here next week. I am off to our statewide conference. It's the Accelerate Indiana Municipalities. It's our big annual meeting. It's a week of just full-on seminars and education and training. I have the opportunity to speak next Thursday on rural communities and stormwater management, how that works and what that looks like. So that's Thursday morning next week, so I won't be here. But we'll catch everybody in 2 weeks, and have a great one. Come out and see us tomorrow night. And if not, we'll see you in 2 weeks right here on WTRE.